Welcome on in, Wager Talk Today, the Thursday edition coming your way. Knicks, last night, they got it done. What does that mean for bettors? You're going to find out right here on Wager Talk Today. I'm your host, Dan Alexander, filling in for the great Andy Lang. Well, I'm always here, but Andy with the day off, he will be back on Friday, so don't you worry. We'll get you ready to go for Friday's action coming your way tomorrow. But on the show today, even though we don't have Andy, we do have Yanni, the Greek, who Yanni coming on here a little bit pissed off starting our Thursday show. So we'll talk about that. What are we seeing in all of the markets? We've seen the favorites flip in both the NHL Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals. What does that mean for bettors? How can we take advantage to that? And what are folks betting in MLB today? We'll also preview a bit of an early weekend card with Yanni. Then we got Joe Ranieri from the Best Betting Show Ever joining the other Best Betting Show Ever today. We're going to look ahead, obviously talk game one, reactions, what we saw. Is this the Knicks series to lose now? We'll see. One game does not a series make, as we have learned many a times. So we'll react to what we saw last night with Joe. We'll also look ahead to game two. And then we got two MLB plays coming your way. Athletics, Cubs, Dodgers, Diamondbacks. But I don't know why we're talking about any of this when the CFL is kicking off tonight. That's right. The CFL begins, and Montreal Alouettes are taking on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Andrew McGinnis, CFL expert, going to be here. He's also talking tonight Stanley Cup Game 2 action. So that's what's coming on your way on the show here today. Folks, we're asking you to hit that like button, asking you to subscribe more than ever because we are very rapidly approaching that 250,000. We are under the 50 mark. So be that 250,000th subscriber, and you will be greatly thanked for it. Andy wasn't here yesterday. We didn't get you a Wager Talk Today play of the day. We will get you one today. I'm going to give you a World Cup future that we're looking to bet. But right now, let's bring in Yanni the Greek. That's right. The man is back in action. And Yanni, we were talking right before the show, man. Sometimes, and why we tell people, make sure you're managing that bankroll. Sometimes it feels like we can't even pick winners with yesterday's paper. And when you're in those type of stretches, you got to keep your head down. You got to keep working. You got to trust the process. Hate to say that as a Sixers fan, but that's where we're kind of feeling today on a Thursday, right, Yanni?
Brother, over the last 2 or 3 days, I've done this now for 3+ decades. I've won and lost obscene amounts of money in small sample sizes and large sample sizes. And even I get shaken at times when things go real bad. This is when you get tested and you find out if you're built for it. Like you mentioned, I came in this morning pissed off. Like if I'm pissed, I could just imagine my subscribers. Like they got to really be pissed because they pay for a service and I'm supposed to provide certainty. The problem is, you know, a sample size of plays is what we're working with. And in a small sample size is when you're going to get tested. Right now, that's what I'm dealing with. In fact, you want to hear something crazy? We've gotten crushed over the last, few days. And on top of it, I wake up 2 days ago and I was talking about how great we've been doing in the market with my trades. I was up 64.4% for the year on June 2nd. I woke up yesterday on June 3rd and I was up at 43.8. So I dropped 20% of my net worth overnight in my brokerage account. And that's my big brokerage account where I have like my long-term holds. It's something you got to deal with. Like what I did, honestly, is I went back through every single trade that I'm holding to make sure I have conviction in those companies. And what I did was I actually added on 3 of the 11 trades that I have pending. I added to it because I had even more conviction. But that comes from years of discipline. That comes from years of experience of doing this and knowing I'm not chasing, I'm seeing opportunity. For newer bettors, that's very hard to deal with. So I get it. It's hard not to chase. It's hard not to get emotional. It's hard to stick to your process. And it's even harder to stick to risk management. But this is the exact time you have to. Like this is when you really find out whether you're built for this or not, whether you're going to go to zero with your bankroll or whether you truly have the skill set to dig yourself out of it and produce a profit like you're supposed to do. That's my job. Like, that's the goal I wake up with today. Like, I know I can't change the last few days. The only thing I can do is move forward and realize that's part of the process. As ugly as it is, hopefully the ugliest is behind you and you move forward. But again, if you're going to do this every single day, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out, it's the intangibles that we're all going to have to face all the time. Whether you have your best year or not, you're going to have that horrific run that you're going to have to deal with, because every demon is going to come out, and try to entice you to do the wrong thing. And this is when you got to pull the brakes on and just move forward. Like, it's a new day, bro. New day, new betting lines, new market. And all I could do is look for inefficient numbers, bet size correctly, and trust in the process. And, it's a process I've done now for a very long time, and I trust in it. So that's a long way of saying I've been cold. I've been cold of late. But that only gives me confidence in expecting to progress towards the mean. And my mean is profitable. Numbers don't lie long term.
Absolutely. And Yanni, something that you've said on this show, on Bet On It, in your steam rooms, when in doubt, zoom out. And that's what you got to do. This is a big picture thing. There's going to be peaks. There's going to be valleys. So what, like you said, Yanni, nothing to do but keep on moving, man. If it's pouring down rain, sometimes, when it rains, it pours. You put your fucking umbrella up and you keep on moving. So let's go. And let's look at the board today here, because we'll start in the NHL.
Yep.
Because we've seen both the NHL and the NBA finals. The favorites have now flipped. Carolina came in around minus 154 on the future market. Now you're basically seeing Vegas sitting around that price, anywhere from 135 up through 150. So you get one game done. Now you're in control of the series, so to speak. What are we seeing in action for tonight's game? What are we seeing pushing these markets? We'll start in the NHL, and it's kind of the same exact mirror image that we're going to talk about when we talk the NBA finals. But NHL's tonight. So what are we seeing, Yanni?
Wise guys were huge on Carolina in game one. There was more sharp money bet on Carolina in game one and for the series that I've seen in NHL in a long, long time. In fact, it even showed up on screen about 10 minutes before the game because it was that overwhelming. Meaning recreational bettors, they were in love with Vegas. Vegas was hot. Vegas had just swept Carolina. And more important, Vegas was doing it at plus money. All right. So bettors had a good taste in their mouths with Vegas. Wise guys thought they were taking advantage of this because on paper, these two teams are not the same. We know during the regular season, Carolina won, double-digit more games than Vegas. But more importantly, power rating wise, Vegas wasn't the best team in the West. They weren't the second best team in the West. They weren't the third best team in the West. They were arguably the fourth or fifth best team in the West. They got hot at the opportune time. And more importantly, they faced a Colorado team that was depleted with injuries. So wise guys saw this as a perfect setup to get a ton of value on Carolina, because on paper, here's what the data shows. Number one offense in 2026, Carolina. Number one defense in 2026, Carolina. And the number one strength of schedule, Carolina. So they've produced the best data offensively, defensively against the toughest strength of schedule. Hard to argue that. Vegas, fifth offense, fifth defense, like they're barely top five. Again, respectable, but when you get to the finals, you expect 1A and 1B or close to that, especially in 7-game series playoffs like baseball and NBA, where you have enough time for the cream to rise. So again, that's why you saw the Sharps jumping so hard on Carolina, because rarely did they see this much value on paper. And then history told you, the home team wins close to 75% of those game ones. Home team wins close to 75% of the NHL finals. So everything matched up. They bet Carolina. Carolina lost game one. What do? They come back and bet Carolina again. So they took Carolina out. Now they have Carolina for the series, and now they bet Carolina adjusted line at minus a plus 125. So they now have Carolina minus 150, like for the minus whatever it was, 200, 140s, 150s. And now they got it at plus 125 too. So they like Carolina. They like them to come back. Historically, here's what we know. When the road team wins game one in the NHL Stanley Cup Finals, they've actually won game two 52% of the time. Only 23 times has the road team won game one in the Stanley Cup Finals. They're 12-11 in game two. And for the series, they're 13-10. So 56.5% of the time, this team has won game one, has gone on to win the series more than half the time, and more than half the time they've won game two. But like I said, Sharps have bucked that historical trend by now taking them to win this series. And rest assured, they bet them as soon as this line opened for game two. They laid the 150, they laid the 155, and that's why you're looking at 160, 165 right now. Again, Carolina with their back to the wall, their entire season is on tonight's game. You go down 2-0, it's over. So yeah, I get it. I understand why they're on them. It sounds square. The public may be on them as well. But yeah, it's going to be all Carolina. So if you like Carolina, you probably want to get down early, because I'm already seeing as high as minus 170 at some of the square shops.
Yeah. This is all one-way traffic here on Carolina, and crazy that in the future market too, they're just like, screw it. We're going down with the ship, whether it happens or not. Because here's the thing. The 125 too, they win tonight. That 125 goes away as well. So if you didn't buy in on Carolina and you like them for the series, this is probably the best that you're going to get. Obviously, if Vegas ends up winning this game, we're talking about something a little bit different. But all right, Yanni, it's almost mirror image with how we maybe attack betting this NBA Finals moving forward. Knicks went outright on the road anywhere. They were around 6.5-point underdogs, end up closing like 4.5-point underdogs. So the steam being right on that one. What are we seeing in action here in the NBA Finals? Again, that next game isn't going to be here for a few days as we're shifting off. So Friday, we're seeing 5.5. So I'm already seeing some 6.5s for San Antonio. So what we learned last night, are you putting a lot of stock into it? And what are you seeing as we move forward here? And the series price has also changed. We're seeing as high as 140. Minus 140 on New York, around as low as minus 120, but their favorites painted.
I almost passed on piggybacking the sharp move on San Antonio yesterday to win the series. Just because power rating wise, I actually have the Knicks as the number one defense. The problem is they had the 29th toughest strength of schedule. So we're going to find out a lot about them when they played a top 5 offense like San Antonio, like they did last night. Well, they held them to 36% shooting. So this number one defense is legit because they did it on the road after 9 days rest. It's an uphill battle for San Antonio, but here's what I can tell you. They did exactly what they did in the Carolina series. They came back and bet the Spurs again. They took the Spurs now at plus money for the series. No surprise there that they like the Spurs for the series still. And they really like them in game two. And historically in game two, it makes a lot of sense. Teams like this, like San Antonio, that are down 1-0, that lose game one in the NBA Finals, right? It's only happened 19 times have they lost game one in the NBA Finals. 16 of the 19, they've won game two. So 16 out of 19 times, a team like San Antonio has gone on to win game two. More importantly, a team like the Knicks that won game one, they've only won the series 42% of the time. So historically, even though they win game one on the road in the NBA, more times than not, that team that lost game one comes back and wins the series. Not like in the NHL where that doesn't happen. So you see the Sharps coming back, taking the plus money on the adjusted series price on both of these. And historically, at least they're on the side of history with the Spurs, not so with Carolina. But if you're getting plus money on both and you split, you make money. And for them, that's how they look at it. Like the series bet they placed before the series began, that's over. That's in the books. Like they don't even, that's not even a afterthought. They look at every bet independent, unless it's a hedge or a middle or a scalp. Every bet is independent. So the fact they're betting San Antonio on the money line for game 2 has nothing to do with their series bet. The fact they're betting San Antonio at plus 105, they took plus 115 overnight to win the series, has nothing to do with the fact they have their series bet. Like, that's in the past. If that comes back and wins for them, great. That's more units. But that once they bet, they've moved on. Like, they're not worried about that series bet now. They're on to the next bet and game 2 and game 3 and game 4.
Yeah, and we'll obviously talk a little bit more tomorrow. We will have Yanni with us tomorrow. Hit that subscribe button, folks. We would greatly appreciate it because, as I mentioned at the top, rapidly approaching. We're now at 249,943, Yanni. So rapidly approaching that 250,000 subscribers.
Baby. Let's get there.
Hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back with Yanni talking about that tomorrow. 9 games here on the MLB card that I'm seeing, one of which just an hour from now. So we've got a couple afternoon games here. My Phils with Wheeler on the bump, taking on Giolito and the Padres. That's coming your way at 105. That's going to kick off the card. You seen anything in MLB action, Yanni, that people should be aware of that made the Steam report?
Yeah, they blasted that over in that San Diego Phillies game. They did yesterday, and it came up short. They did it again, and they moved it off 7.5. They moved it off 8. Like, they really like this over. They liked it again last night, like I said, and it just missed for them. But they're coming right back with the over in San Diego and Philadelphia. They love the plus money on Arizona, 140, 135, and 130, and on Cleveland. They took Cleveland late yesterday. I didn't have time to send it to subscribers because of the 15-minute cutoff window, but they cashed with Cleveland late, and they also bet the under 9 in that Cleveland Yankees game. Big favorite that they got out ahead of the market. They laid 170 all the way up to minus 200 on Atlanta. But since then, it's been all public moving that Atlanta money up those highs it is. Wouldn't be surprised if you saw some take back on the dog. And finally, opposite the public, they're going over 10 Athletics Cubs. Rarely you see under money from the public in the Cubbies games, but they're betting this one under for some reason.
All right, so there we got some MLB action. Comment below, what are you looking to fire on in today's action? We got Joe Ranieri coming up here, Yanni. We'll talk about what you have in a few. Anything, I know Andy likes getting some early looks here, combat sports with you. Anything for this weekend that's jumping off the card for you? I know you've already started looking towards it. We talked a little bit about that UFC card that's going to be at the White House. We haven't gotten to talk to you for 2 days, so anything in change for you? Anything that you've been firing on?
This is a sneaky decent card where I see some value on dogs, but probably won't get there. Like, what I mean is, like, you're forced to almost take the plus 200, but even when you're hot, you're going to throw out a plus 200 ticket, 35 out of 100 times. I mean, 65 out of 100 times, more or less. So that's the negative there. But here's what I can tell you, that right now, the one sharp side that be very cautious with is, well, let me pull that. Let me just make sure, because I've seen a lot of love for Baranowski, a lot of sharp love for Baranowski. I know he's going to be on every parlay imaginable. Be careful. This line's just way too high. I know it's a quick turnaround for Tafa. And again, I fade Tafa. You'll probably get rich long-term. But Baranowski doesn't really pose much threat in the sub game. And that's the weakness for Tafa. These two big guys are going to stand there and bang. And you just, again, at that weight class, you get hit flush. It's lights out. Baranowski will probably win. Minus 350s usually do. But he shouldn't be up to that 400 range that he is. I think there's a lot of recency bias because the Contender Series first round finish, debut first round finish, then last fight first round finish, performance bonus. Again, there's a lot of recency bias on this price. Probably will get the win, but no way you should be laying this nothing above 300. He's already up to 370. So I like
great breakdown.
Sprinkle.
Tafa is worth a sprinkle, says our man Yanni the Greek. Yanni, I see Jackpot there. Jackpot will bring the good vibes for you, brother.
Yeah,
do not worry. Jackpot will be bringing the good vibes. I know that you mentioned, hey, we've been in a bit of a cold spell, but folks, sometimes with some of these bettors who have been doing this for decades, cold spells mean that hot streak is right around the corner, Yanni. So keep the head up, man. I don't need to give you a pep talk. You're the one who gives us the pep talks, brother. So keep it firing. What are folks going to find over at your page, wt.buzz /ace /VR? There's a bunch of ways to find you, Yanni. What do they find?
UFC pass is up. 2 premiums are already in there. We're coming off 3 straight winning MMA cards. Told you last year was the first losing year in MMA in like 5 years. Knew we were going to bounce back and have a really good year in MMA. That card's up. Steam sheet is up with a 4% in Major League Baseball. If I get confirmation in the NHL, we'll fire premium there as well. Otherwise, grind day by day. And see if we could turn this around and start piling up some profit.
Love it. WT.buzz /VR. Keep on firing, brother. That's Yanni the Greek, and you can check him out this weekend too. We got your Steam room coming your way. Best way to find out when it's free, folks, is make sure you're subscribed, because when he goes live and it's free, it'll get right in there. Shout out to the chat. Great chat today. You guys are bumping. We greatly appreciate you. As we pointed out, if you've already subscribed, tell folks, share this link to wherever your social is, or if you're watching on mute in your cubicle, just reach on over, tap the guy or gal next to you and let them know, hey, hit us with a subscribe. We would love to hit 250,000. I'll actually pull up, see what our live count is looking at. In case you're just joining us, folks, Joe Ranieri going to be joining us in just a few here. We're going to talk a little NBA Game 2, look ahead with him in the NBA Finals. And Andrew McGinnis going to be joining us in just a few as well. He's going to be taking a look at CFL action. So get any questions for you CFL bettors. I know that's the one everyone wants to know about right now, right? Everybody wants to talk CFL. We have NHL and NBA Finals action. No, folks, if you can make money on it, we're going to be talking about it here. And that is one of the mantras of our man, Andy Lang. And Andy Lang will be back with us tomorrow. Don't you worry. I'm holding things down for Andy as we speak right here. But last night, hit the NBA play. Hit the cricket play, WNBA, that has been a major moneymaker for Andy and his clients and our team with winning in the shadows. It's been a great moneymaker last night, just didn't quite get it done with that one. You can grab Andy's best bets. And now the NBA was another $5 Tuesday play. So we swept on $5 Tuesday. It's now Thursday. That's all in the past. So congrats if you did buy us on $5 Tuesday. All 3 of them, 3 winners for just $15. That's why you take advantage of the deals, folks. Tonight, what does Andy have? Bare Knuckle Fighting Club, BKFC. On these plays, 5-1 run. 5-1 run. If you have the blue book, Schman Schmool, it's going to be on there. And also, if you have, I can't really mention the other books, but we'll call them global books. You also will have some Bare Knuckle Fighting Club odds on that. So Andy has the best bet up in that. Like I mentioned, 5-1 on those plays. Also, that event is going tonight. So if you want it, grab it now. WT.buzz /AL. WT.buzz /AL. Andy wants me to mention as well, they're doing a live watch along for the Bare Knuckle Fight Club event that's going tonight. So 7 p.m. Eastern over at our Winning in the Shadows YouTube channel, a little watch along with Andy Lang. He messaged me this morning and he goes, so in case you guys missed it and why Andy isn't here today, Andy messaged me this morning and he says, hey, he was basically doing a little shipping. He's an import-export kind of guy. All joking aside, apparently his mom sold something that if they shipped, it would have been a couple thousand to ship. So Andy said, screw that. I'll do it myself. So Andy drove from Indiana to Louisiana and then back again to ship whatever this item is. We will not speculate on what Andy was looking at there, or was shipping there. But yeah, so that's why we were missing Andy, obviously. And he messaged me this morning being like, I made it down. I made it back. I didn't get pulled over. All was good. But he said absolutely exhausted. So he's going to be crashing. Give me 1 second. There we go. Yeah, we did. So he's going to be crashing. So that's why we didn't have Andy Lang, obviously. But Rob, you're right. It is an MLB Hammer Thursday. You are right. I need to, by the end of this show, have a hammer for you guys. I will put it upon myself. Comment below and let us know what your MLB hammer is going to be. BJK versus Carolina. Don't worry. Andrew McGinnis joining us in just a few here. He's going to give you the side thoughts. We're going to talk a little total. We'll also talk player props with him here in game 2. While we're waiting for Andrew McGinnis, we may have a no-show on Joe Ranieri, so I'll let you know when I know here. But while we're waiting for him, here we go. I don't have the MLB hammer just quite yet. I will have it for you by the end of the show. Don't you worry. And, of course, the MLB hammer is tongue-in-cheek because there was a trend that Yanni found that was called the Wednesday hammer. So we came up with the Thursday hammer here on Wager Talk Today. Let's do the Wager Talk Today play of the day while we're waiting for Mr. McGinnis. I'm going to give you a World Cup play. I broke down the World Cup in length with my man Jan with the Winning in the Shadows team. So you can grab that right here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. I'll actually link it at the end of this video so you can check out my full. We broke down every single group. We talked golden boots, and we talked the golden boot, and we also talked outright winners. But the play for me, take a look at Group C. I think I forecasted this group absolutely perfect. Brazil is actually one of my favorites to win this tournament. Shocker, Brazil. I know a lot of people like Portugal. A lot of people like Spain. Colombia is kind of my outside shot if you want a long shot. But as far as Brazil is concerned, I think they're going deep in this tournament. I think they're the class of this group. Morocco, you may remember that name because in 2022, they had a miracle run throughout the tournament, just came up a little bit short. I think they match up decent enough with Brazil, who can concede some goals here. This may be a group you want to be betting a lot of overs in, folks, especially in Brazil games. But Morocco, as long as they get – so here's how it works. Everyone gets a free 3 points because Haiti isn't winning a game. At all three of these, I would parlay Brazil over Haiti, Morocco over Haiti, Scotland over Haiti. So that's why we got Haiti at the bottom of the group. Scotland and Morocco, that game will decide which is second and third. Brazil, I think they have just enough offense to get it done here, folks, and move on. So exact order, you can get this for plus 160. It won't grade for a while, but that is going to be our play of the day because I know if Andy was here, he wouldn't let me give out a technically future play as the play of the day. All right, folks, Andrew McGinnis is here. So let's get into it. My man, Andrew, when was the last time we did a show together? I produced a lot of shows for you, but it was probably a random CFL show or that Wager Talk Extra show way back. Maybe a Saturday you and I have been together. You're looking good, brother. It's good to see you, man. How you been?
Hey, you too. I'm missing the banter, the pre-puck time, the post-puck time, during puck time. I'm missing the banter, Dan. I'm missing.
That's on me.
I got to admit, you did help me bring down the average age of the puck time crew. You know, you're kind of hung me out to dry a little bit there.
I know. I'm sorry about that. Also, you know, we also added the hair demographic. When Brian Leonard comes on as a guest, he helps that out. Good mention here by 8:05. We'll talk about this in a little bit. Since there is no puck time tomorrow, obviously, with these days on, days off, Carm and I in that puck time spot, 11 a.m., we are going to do a live Q&A. So questions for the World Cup, it will be live tomorrow at 11. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about TTs, team totals in the CFL. We'll do that in just a few here, Andrew, but we've had all kinds of questions all show long about what are we doing in this hockey game. And I said, just wait. We're having one of the best hockey handicappers that we have to offer. McGinnis will be here, so I wasn't going to give him any bullshit on the ice. We want to get your thoughts. We'll start with the game, and then we'll talk about the series here. You're seeing, and Yanni came on here, Andrew, and told us, every sharp is lining up on Carolina in this game. That's why you see it going northward. I think every Joe. So this is a pro and Joe that wants Carolina here tonight because it's a must win, right, Andrew? So how are you looking to bet this game too? And what should be, I think, a continuation of what's going to be a great series if game one was any indicator?
Yeah, try and find someone that loves Vegas tonight, Dan? The funny thing is when you look at this, you always think like, hey, a series isn't over until it doesn't really start till a team loses at home. And then Carolina, who I have pegged as one of my favorite teams to bet at home, loses game one. It's very, very peculiar. But I think that you look at the dominance of this Hurricanes team during this playoff run, how much adversity have they had to face? And look, we've talked about their series against the Senators, series against the Flyers, series against the Canadians, who were incredibly fatigued and overachieving in a big way. They've lost one game. So sometimes you need that kick in the ass to wake yourself up a little bit here. I feel like that's what the Hurricanes got when it comes to that game one. the one thing I will say, Dan, is that Carolina's going to have to get back to playing Carolina Hurricanes hockey. And when you look at what that means, obviously Yanni talked about it. It's pretty incredible for a team to be top of the league in shots on goal per game and also shots against per game defensively. That's pretty incredible. But when you score 4 goals and you're a Carolina Hurricanes fan, you should be thinking, we won that game. 4 goals should be more than enough to win a game for the Carolina Hurricanes. And unfortunately, Freddie Anderson had himself a tough one, and the team defensively did not play very well. But Dan, sometimes you got to zoom out, right? And we're going to overreact to game 1. But I've seen this so many times, handicap in the NHL, and since I've been at WagerTalk, where game 1 of a series flies over the total, and then everyone's like, wow, we're seeing a lot more defense in game 2. It's almost like each game is not going to be the exact same. And so I'm going to look towards the team total under 2.5 for the Vegas Golden Knights. And yeah, they scored 5 goals. It might sound crazy. Their expected goals was like 1.8. Freddie Anderson had a bad game. The team defensively had a bad game. And Carolina is known for puck possession. If they're going to come out on top, they're going to play Carolina Hurricanes, smash mouth hockey, and just make things miserable. Forecheck hard, clog things up in the middle. If they're going to win the Stanley Cup, they're not going to win it because they look cool and they score nice goals and they're flashy. Then not everybody can be flashy. You know what is flashy? A nice ring when you win the Stanley Cup. So I think that they got to get back to playing defensive hockey. If you like the Hurricanes today and you don't want to lay that chalk, you take the team total under for the Vegas Golden Knights. You can get -105 on that number.
Wow. I mean, that's ballsy, my man. It hasn't been a time that we've gotten to do a show here, and you're coming on being like, yeah, the team that was lighting it up, just constantly lighting that lamp, they're going under their team total. Andrew McGinnis, scare money, don't make no money, and that's a pick that definitely indicates that. Team total under. Comment below and let us know what you think. A lot of folks like in Vegas as well. So, unfortunately, Andrew might be telling you, unless it's 2-0, you're 2-1. Yeah, you might be a little disappointed. Andrew, while I have you here, man, we are going to talk CFL, and folks, CFL, a terrific moneymaker. You do not want to miss out on this. This is something that I forced Andrew to send his plays my way. They're so damn good, I would pay for them. I'm not going to lie. But Andrew, let's talk this series and how it's concerned. We've seen, it's funny because we're going to talk with Joe Ranieri here in just a few about what we're seeing in the NBA finals and the fact that we've seen the favorite flip here. But same exact case, you win game 1, and in the NBA case, you had a $2 favorite who dropped below that, who then got completely flipped. And now you're seeing Vegas is the favorite. How do you feel this going forward? I know you said you think Carolina might take a little bit control. They're going to play like their life depends on it. They're going to, shore up defensively. You got to feel that Carolina's kind of playing for their life tonight, right?
You really do, and that's why I like the under and to go a step further, that team total under. But Dan, I think that if anything, you take the over in the series, the over in the game.
Okay.
But I get it with the price right now on the Hurricanes, because if we all liked the Hurricanes to get the job done before, then losing one game is not going to hurt them. And let's not forget, they lost that game 1 against the Montreal Canadiens, and then they looked like a whole different team for the next 4 games after that. So, the big thing, Dan, I'll ask you this. I mean, when you look at a playoff match, we're in the Stanley Cup Finals now. How much do we look back, right? Because, the Good Vegas point. Golden Knights, here's something for you, and I'm sure a lot of people are forgetting this. If the Vegas Golden Knights played in the Eastern Conference, they would not have made the playoffs. Think about that. They literally wouldn't have made the playoff. And they
Good point.
So there's a thing called overtime loss points. The Vegas Golden Knights accumulated so many points because they lost games in overtime. So, they squeezed their way in, but I think we're going to get a real good effort out of Carolina. They're a very deep team. The value's there. Look, Dan, straight up, I didn't want to take Carolina going into game 1, if that says anything to you. But now that the price is a bit better, I can get behind it. Conn Smythe Trophy award, just real quick, Dan. I think if anybody wants to take Vegas at this point, you just have to take the Conn Smythe. And everyone's talking about Mitch Marner. I think there could be a little value in Jack Eichel as well if you want to sprinkle on that Conn Smythe, because, we hear it all the time. Super Bowl MVP, NBA Finals MVP. If you can get a better price on those guys than you can on the team, then go ahead and take those MVP bets.
I like that. That's a good way to attack it, Andrew. All right, man, let's talk. CFL is back, baby. Alouettes, Tiger Cats is what's going to kick us off here. But folks, again, like I was alluding to, this is an absolute off-the-board moneymaker. Similar way how I like giving out lacrosse picks. CFL is definitely, a lot more elevated than what we're doing with the PLL, but still, this is something that is just not the focus of odds makers, especially when you have two finals in action right now. You have daily MLB. They still put up the odds because they want the action. And Andrew diving in deep on these cards. CFL is a major money maker. We'll talk tonight, and then we'll talk some of these specials that you have up, because this is something you don't want to miss out on as we head on into this season.
It's fantastic, Dan, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate all the lacrosse winners you give me as well. So we'll keep that
back and forth, going. Baby. Help it. What does Merrill say? Let's learn and earn and win together. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. And look, the thing is I get it. I love the NFL too. I promise you guys. I love watching college football. But when you're the one that's like, man, my favorite play of the week is the Sunday night NFL primetime game, it's like, I'll tell you what, the books know a bit more about that one than a Sunday afternoon CFL game. So the numbers move big time. And that's why I encourage people signing up for the packages. I say it every single year. You're going to get massive, massive number of moves. I mean, a 0.5 or half move or 1 point move is big in the NFL. You're talking 2-3 points sometimes in the CFL. So getting into this game here, Dan, Montreal Alouettes, Hamilton Tiger Cats here. Two teams in the East, and should be a good game. Higher total here with 51 as the consensus total in this one. Montreal's coming off a Grey Cup appearance, a Grey Cup loss, however, and a big part of that due to the injury of quarterback Davis Alexander. Look, this is a quarterback. Dan, he has not lost a regular season game as a quarterback. When you take a look at this team, they lost a few pieces when it comes to their defensive pressure. They lost a couple of pass rushers. They lost a couple of defensive players. But this is a very well-rounded program. This is a coaching staff that's been with a lot of this team for a very long time. When you look at Hamilton, one thing about them is they could score 30 points for you, Dan, but they might give up 33 as well. They had a pretty good record last year, and they still gave up 27.6 points per game. So this is, to me, an opportunity for us to look at a quarterback that last year went 8-0, put up a ton of yards, and he's a guy that's still underappreciated. I think we have a chip on his shoulder. We got a healthy offensive line. Montreal has a solid run game, and I feel like they're going to take control of this game, especially in the second half when I think Hamilton starts to fall off. Their defense gets so tired because they're always out there, and I feel like this is where Montreal takes advantage. So we're going to go with the Montreal Alouettes. Discounted price. Look, Hamilton made some moves in the offseason. Hamilton got healthy. Hamilton is going to be a good team this year, but I still don't trust their defense. This team gets into so many shootouts, but they're giving up as many points as they score, and that's a dangerous story to go with when you're going up against a team like Montreal. So, Dan, you know how, Andy has his fade theories in the UFC. I'm going to give you my own if you don't mind here. I've got one for you. Yeah. It's called Fade the CFL Writers theory. And so every week, the Twitter account for the CFL tweets out their writers' picks. And I'm not trying to be a jackass here, but when I see 4 of them on the Hamilton Tiger Cats, sign me up for the team that went to the Grey Cup that has a quarterback that has not lost a game yet in the regular season in his career. So this is the Andrew McGinnis Fade the Writers theory for the CFL.
I love that. Anytime you have a fade theory, I'm all in. And it looks like who was that? Jamie Nye or something. He's the only one who knows ball. So so there we go. Let's go with the Alouettes this evening. The thoughts there for Andrew. Good stuff, man. Tell him about this great deal that you have up, because you want to get in as soon as possible. Games are going to be tonight. Like Andrew said, if you're going to do CFL, you need to get the all access and get it for the season, because when Andrew releases this play, you could be getting a 3-point or more line move, which is going to be the difference between winning or losing. So get the all access so you get notified when these lines move and when you put in the plays. Tell folks how they can save a good amount on it, Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even just saying this, Dan. Like, it sucks for me because I want to keep these plays up for longer for sale. I want these up for sale longer, but the lines move. So starting Tuesday, when the lines pop up, you guys going to get my opening line plays, and then anything else I add throughout the week with the all access special. But very simple, guys. It's already a really good deal. It gets even better. Use that promo code SAVE50. Take $50 off, an already huge deal with the early bird CFL special. I'm in action tonight with a best bet here, Dan. Thursday night, we also got a play going on Saturday. So we're going to come in hot week 1 CFL. But guys, ride the wave with me all summer long. I know you look forward to college football. I know you look forward to NFL football, but don't miss out on CFL action. The promo code, once again, SAVE50. Take $50 off the full season pass. Number 1 at WagerTalk, every play in the CFL last year. Number 1 with 5% plays. Let's make some money, Dan. Always good to see you, and I really appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely, Andrew. Best of luck. WT.buzz/AL is where you can get that action, and make sure you use that code SAVE50. Chop $50 off and already discounted action in the CFL. Build that bankroll over the summer, folks. That's the way to do it. And trust me, eventually you will get tired of betting baseball. And when you are, the CFL will be there to give you a nice warm hug. WT.buzz/AM is where you can find that app. Folks, hit that subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate it. While you're hanging out, comment below. Let us know what your best bets are. And while you're down there, hit that like button as well. Well, the closer is here. That's right. Joe Ranieri joining the program here. Joe, man, Knicks, everybody loves the Knicks. Everybody wanted to bet them on the future price, and they drove them on down, and now they're favorites. Now they're favorites after what we saw last night. Surprised at all in what we saw in game 1? Is that kind of what you expected with the kind of rest coming into it? What are we thinking in the NBA Finals, Joe?
Well, I'm thinking Spurs got a little dose of reality there yesterday. And listen, anybody expecting the Knicks to have just wilted and somehow bowed to a 22-year-old Victor Wembanyama, I think was sadly mistaken here. And you saw that yesterday. You saw the difference of what experience and a closer like Jalen Brunson brings to the table. You see what the experience and the failure of a Karl Anthony Towns in previous seasons, as well as Josh Hart. You see what it gets you. I mean, I'm a big believer in you've got to lose before you win in this league. And as talented as San Antonio was, they looked all sorts of that second half was not good for them. And the Knicks have done exactly what the Knicks have done all postseason long, and that is make in-game adjustments and finish you off in the second half. And that's exactly what happened. We thought they'd be a little rusty, but Scott Foster was the ref last night, Dan. So when that happens, you usually get 15 free throws to 3, I think is what the Knicks had in the first half. I had me and my clients, we were on the Spurs in the first half because that's what they've done really, really well. And certainly they were up by 7 at the break. So that was great. But ultimately, the opportunities to jump in on the Knicks, I've been screaming for weeks, certainly in the predictive markets. When we bought in on them, they were 22, 23 cents, Dan. Right now, after winning one game, they are hovering around 56 cents. Could have bought it in at 22, 23, and you didn't need them to win the NBA title, Dan. You just needed them to win one game, and you could have doubled your money in 2 weeks.
Man, and that's why, and folks, check out the best betting show ever. They typically are talking about these prediction markets. Yep. Joe's been doing some solo videos as well for us, specifically on these prediction markets. Folks, they're not going away. So Learn to take advantage of what is a emerging market that, basically the mechanisms of doing it as a sports betting is the same exact thing. If you're a finance guy, it's completely overlapped with that as well. So Joe, I love that you're bringing that there to the table. So what we saw in game 1, as you mentioned, kind of what you expected. That's why you said, forget the second half. Scott Foster, hell no. Let me cash a ticket in the first half. Little look ahead. Game 2, we're going to have tomorrow. We're seeing San Antonio Spurs. It's funny because we got to talk with Andrew right before, and you're seeing the exact same thing that you see in the NHL Stanley Cup Finals with this road team winning. Now you got the road team winning again, and Must win here for San Antonio. Playing for their lives. Make them 6-point favorites again. Total has dropped down 4 points from what was the game one total. What are you expecting here in game two? I know you got to finalize what the bet will be, but what are you thinking after seeing game one?
Well, a couple of things came to fruition. We mentioned it on the Best Betting Show yesterday, and it hit again, is that there are just some trends, and I'm not a big trends guy, because there's just too many variables that come in with random trends, like on a Tuesday after 1 o'clock. We've talked about these things. But the trend that I've never seen across any sport is the one that's rolling over the last 11 NBA finals right now, where the outright winners, Dan, after last night, are now a ridiculous 63-3-3 against the number. 95.5% over the last 11 seasons in the NBA finals. So what does that mean? That means if you liked the Knicks, there is no reason to take them any place other than the money line. And if you like the San Antonio Spurs coming into this game too, because they have to win it, don't be scared of the -6 or 5.5 or 6.5. 63-3-3 against the spread. The outright winner of games over the last 11 seasons says, don't be worried about the spreads if you like underdogs. It's all about money lines. And don't be worried about laying it with favorites, because not only are they winning, they're covering, Dan. A perfect 7-0 last year, now 1-0 already in this year's finals. There are some trends that are just not created equal. This is one where don't even bother. If you like the Knicks in a game, bet them on the money line. If you like the Spurs, don't worry about the spread. Just go ahead and lay it, because nobody is getting beat or nobody is losing an ATS and winning the game here, Dan. It doesn't happen in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I mean, a 63-3, dude. That's not, you can't even say, oh, that's prescriptive. You know what I mean? That's just, that's becoming a fact of life. You know what I mean? Yep. So it could go the opposite way for a couple different series, and it still would be an insane trend. So yeah, just
in any sport, much less the NBA. I mean, I've never seen anything that ridiculous in any sport. So it just goes to show you, when you get to this time of year in the NBA, the books aren't, these markets aren't as tight. It's not the NFL. The books are not this tight. The winners are covering as favorites, and the dogs, well, they're covering by winning outright.
Yeah, 1,000%. So if you're a person who had a +4.5 Knicks ticket last night, what the hell were you doing? What the heck? Listen to this show.
No idea.
Listen to the best betting show ever. Be subscribed to WagerTalk, and you would have made yourself a hell of a lot more coin. All right, I love it. WT.buzz/JR. We'll talk about what Joe Ranieri has rocking for his clients tonight. But first, let's talk some of these MLB games, Joe. And you talk about trends. How about the Athletics looking to do something that they have never done, and that's sweep the Cubs in interleague play since it began, what was it, over 20-some years ago, 2004. They have never swept the Cubbies here. So that's what they're looking to do. I mean, Imanaga on the mound doesn't exactly inspire me some good feelings here for the Cubs, Joe. Does the sweep happen today for the A's? How are you looking to bet this game? Look at that total, man. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, here are a couple of things you need to know about this one. Number one, you've got 12-mile-an-hour winds blowing dead out at Wrigley here tonight for this game, which is why you're seeing 10.5s here. So it's pretty locked in there. I'm wondering if whether or not it'll drop down a little bit. But the wind is playing a big factor into what you're seeing in the totals market here tonight. Now, the problem is Imanaga has just been a hot mess, Dan. His last 3 starts, 5 runs against the Cardinals, 7 runs against Houston, 8 runs against Milwaukee. He has been an absolute hot mess here. Not to mention that he's also, it has not been good. He's a fly ball pitcher. He's not a ground ball pitcher, which means 12-mile-an-hour winds dead out could be a problem. And JT Ginn on the other side, very underrated. Now, everybody has worse numbers on the staff of the A's at home. Look at his road numbers. His road numbers are a million times better, just like every other pitcher. I mean, look at what the bullpen of the A's have done in these 2 games already, Darren. They are shutting everybody out of the Cubs, and the Cubs are a good team. They're going through it right now. But the bullpen of the A's, much better on the road. And Ginn is a ground ball pitcher to the tune, in a big, big way, he's a ground ball pitcher as well. So, he's got about a 48, 49% ground ball rate. He strikes out. He misses more than enough bats. And when you look at the last couple of weeks, the Cubs can't hit anybody right now. They are a hot mess. I get why everyone thinks the Cubs can win this game here tonight, but I don't trust Imanaga. And the only way I would look at this is I think Ginn outpitches Imanaga. I don't trust the bullpens. I'll take the A's in the first 5. But then would not shock me if the Cubs figure out a way to pound out a whole lot of runs against the bullpen here at some point. Both bullpens have gotten a ton of work, Dan, over the last week, especially in this series. So would not shock me if the bullpens are where a lot of the runs happen tonight. But I think Ginn keeps the ball in the ballpark on the ground, and I don't think Imanaga does. So I'll take the A's in the first 5.
It was the exact same way that I was thinking of attacking that game because I am not an Imanaga guy even a little bit. So take the bullpens out of it because guess what? Those bullpens are freaking tired. Yep. So I like it. I like the thoughts there. Yeah, for sure. WT.buzz/JR. Before we talk this last game, Joe, what are we rocking with clients? I know we got the look ahead as well. A great all-day access past 3 days. You're going to get an extra 3 days for the same exact price. So this is a great time to lock that in as we head towards the weekend.
Yeah, I'll have the NBA play up here this afternoon for tomorrow. Now a 15-4 run in the NBA playoffs, Dan. So we're absolutely crushing it there. We're also crushing it across all sports, including Major League Baseball right now. And I do want to let folks know I have a play up tonight that you can get over at my page at WagerTalk.com. But guys, don't sleep on the free plays that we have on our pages at WagerTalk.com either, because you'll look, there's 7 straight winners that I have posted on there for you in Major League Baseball. So don't forget about those, guys. I mean, it's great information, gives you all the write-ups, gives you an idea how we approach these games. Major League Baseball is the ultimate grind. I love it. It's one of my favorites to actually handicap here. And because it's not something you can do 1 week and then take 4 weeks off and then come back to it. So it is a 162 game grind. And I'm telling you right now, don't miss out on those free plays either on our pages. 7-0 straight up there. We swept it again last night on the board of Major League Baseball. We're going to do it again here today. So make sure you take advantage of that 3-day buy 3, get 3. Damn, what, $69? I mean, with all the games we got coming up in Major League Baseball, plus through the weekend now of the NBA Finals, take advantage of it for $69. Doesn't make any sense. Don't buy a single play. No. Go get the $69 and get every play for 6 days delivered to you directly into your mailbox.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer, especially you're going to get NBA action throughout the weekend. So a couple different of these NBA plays that you're going to be buying solos of. And just like Joe said, WT.buzz/JR, scroll down the page. You don't even have to have an account to check out that free play. So while you're there, check out the free play, cash in 7 straight, make your account, and then hop on board. That's the way that I would suggest doing it. All right, Joe, before we shut things down here for the day, do we just bet Shohei Ohtani to win the Cy Young and win MVP, and we're going to win one of them? Dude, you might win both of them this year. Insane what he is doing. What was it? 6 scoreless innings yesterday, and he reaches base 5 times. Although we talk about Shohei, no Shohei in the lineup today as manager is going to be giving him the rest. How are you looking to bet this one? D-backs and Dodgers, and dear God, we are just witnesses to Shohei Ohtani.
Dan, as well as I know, they are just dying to give him the Cy Young as well. He's already got the MVPs. Yeah. The Cy Young is the next thing. And if he keeps pitching at the ridiculous rate, I mean, forget about he's not giving up runs, much less a whole lot of hits. I mean, it's ridiculous right now. But more importantly, the Dodgers have figured it out, too, over the last 14 days. They are number 1 in just about every offensive category that you can come up with. But it's, don't forget, Arizona won the first game of this series. The Dodgers have come back. Clients of mine had the Dodgers on the run line last night at a great price, which was, I thought, rather easy there. And this game today, Nelson is another one of these guys, Dan, that's been a hot mess over the last couple of starts here. His numbers are not good. Fly ball pitcher. I mean, he's got well over his fifths are close to 6 now. He's not good at home. He's given up 4 runs. He had a good one against Colorado, ironically enough, but 3 runs. It's getting elevated here. But Robleski is another guy that does not strike out anybody. He doesn't miss enough bats. At least Nelson gets the strikeouts. Robleski beat your Phillies, though, last time out in a pretty good effort, but that's because the Phillies were going through that stretch where they could not only not hit lefties, they couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat on that trip there against the Dodgers. But the problem is Arizona can, and Arizona has been crushing lefties as of late, too. So for a guy that doesn't miss bats, pitches to contact, there's a reason why this line is moving towards Arizona here tonight, Dan, and it would not shock me at all if Nelson has a pretty good outing here, and it would not shock me if Arizona handles business here tonight. Even look at them on the run line. The home team getting a run and a half. The totals already came down from 9.5 to 9 now. So the market is telling you money on Arizona, money to the under. The public is on the Dodgers and the over. Might be a good opportunity to grab that run and a half tonight with the home dog there, Arizona.
That's Joe Ranieri. Again, you can check out those best bets, WT.buzz/JR, and you can check them out right here on the channel for free on the best betting show ever. Show's recorded already, Joe, and that people can check out. It gets posted pretty much every afternoon, right following our show. So I'm sorry you have to deal with Prez though every day, man. That's the only little bit of wrench that's in that plan.
Yeah, he told us today in the show that I may not be here tomorrow, and so, I mean, the clapping that was going on was unbelievable. I mean, we were heartbroken, the idea that he may not be on the show tomorrow. But that's even more reason for you guys to finally check it out over at our YouTube page at WagerTalk, because Art the Caesar and I will be there. So we'll have everything you need to know heading into the weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. The
and college baseball, too. Big college baseball day tomorrow. Art's bringing all of the sharp bets, everything you guys need to know from the books for the College Baseball World Series. So you guys don't want to miss that tomorrow either.
Absolutely not. Joe, absolute pleasure, man. Best of luck. Stay hot. Keep those free winners coming. That's right. You can head on over to the page. Don't have to buy nothing. 7 straight winners for Joe. So check that out. Folks, thank you for tuning in. Again, hit that like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Don't worry, I did not forget, folks. Joe let the cat out of the bag, though. The Thursday hammer that we have for you today, which if you missed, the reason why it's tongue-in-cheek, we found a guy who's a trend guy who just talks about bet on this guy on Tuesday when the wind is blowing and there's summer breeze in the air. So the Thursday hammer for you, it's just an MLB best bet. And Joe said it best, man. A's first 5. This Cubs team is priced because they have never been swept by the A's. Are they going to be swept by the A's? Maybe not. But the fact that you got Imanaga on the mound, this is a guy who I don't like even a little bit. He's going to have trouble keeping it in the yard. A's bats have looked strong. Take them in the first 5. The concern of why we're not taking them full game on that nice money line, which I don't hate. I don't hate taking them full game. I could see the sweep happening. Crazier things have happened. However, over these 2 games that they did win, they only won them by 1 run, both of them. And they have 7 relievers that have played 8 1/3 shutout innings. And the other part that concerns me is the A's haven't committed an error yet. Those A's errors will come. Let's hope they come later in the game. A's first 5. That's your Thursday hammer. Big thanks to everyone for tuning in. Andy Lang will be back tomorrow. Till next time, folks, best of luck. Comment below your best bets, and we'll see you on Friday here. WagerTalk Today.